Hello and welcome to my first look at the Warhammer 40,000 Leviathan 10th edition rulebook from Games Workshop. Now one of these at present can be bought separately. It doesn't have the Leviathan cover art and things on Games Workshop's web store for £40. Alternatively, you can pick this particular rulebook in the Leviathan box game, which would cost you £150. So really you're paying £110 for 72 miniatures, as well as the cards and things. So £40 seems to be about right for a rulebook, and normally they've been £40 in the past. It's a nice looking book. It's 392 pages. Let's have a look at this page by page. So, Game of Thrones again. So, 9th edition, we just can't escape you. They've just used the same inside cover art. No doubt this will be the same for all of the codexes as well. Bit of a shame. Would have been nice for them to use something different other than this in 10th edition, something brand new. You've got the logo, which they've had since 9th, and then a look at all of the contents. So you've got 13 pages of the hobby, 55 pages of lore, you've got 25 pages of the different forces, which is quite good. Combat Patrol, you've got about 11 pages. Crusade, you've got 14. And then the core rules index, you've got, I'd say about 60 odd pages of core rules. So, here we go. Not sure I've seen that artwork before. That looks like Vashtor. And is it Be'lakor? Warhammer 40,000 Hobby. We've got a few of the new minis there. There we go, so front and centre, all the new minis in this set, and then we'll probably get that new Dreadnought at some point, the close combat one. Interesting that the non-shooty Dreadnought has the big multi-melters, but the shooty one doesn't. Let's just zoom in a little bit for you. Build and paint. So it starts off with collecting. That's their big focus. They start the book with collecting, build and paint, and then gaming. For me, and it's always been like this, the most enjoyment I've had is through building, then collecting, then gaming, then painting. So yeah, in terms of what I prefer. You've got the battle report there. I wonder if that will be a box set. It looks like it will already. They're going to reuse some of these minis with the board and these the scenery. That'll be fine. I'll be fine with that. You've got some of the different factions. I don't think we'll see any new minis for any of the new factions in this book. I think it's just for some of the Tyranids and the Space Marines. Dark Imperium. You've got the Imperium. You've got the Cicatrix Maledictum and the Imperium Sanctus. It's almost like half of the galaxy's been cut off from the other. The Imperium Sanctus, the Imperium Nihilus, the Emperor of Mankind, Rule of the Imperium, the Angels of Death, so the Space Marines, the Warriors of Faith, so the Adepts of Sororitas, or Sisters of Battle, the Inquisition, so you've got the Ordo Hereticus, Malleus and Xenos. If you haven't already, I'd strongly suggest you read Eisenhorn and some of the other novels by Dan Abnett. That really helped me flesh out the universe a bit more. Perils unknown, the enemy within. So perils unknown, interesting. Yeah, the enemy within. Okay, then you got the dark gods. So you have Khorne, Tzeentch, Nurgle, and Slaanesh. The ages of mankind. So this is a little bit of a history here. It's a very nice bit of artwork with the Warlord Titan. Remnants of a Dark Age. Legacy of Strife. The Age of Darkness. And the Age of the Imperium. The Alien Tides. And the Horrors of Chaos. Gathering Storm. Age of the Dark Imperium. And the Indomitus Crusade, which is where Guilliman returned to the Imperium. You got the mustering, the fleets. And a nice little story here. Age of Witches. And the Arcs of Omen. So you have Vashtor there. Armies of the Imperium. Love that artwork. Fantastic. I really like that they've added some older artwork into this this new book. So, faction focus then. Space Marines. Strike Force Octavius. So this is your little combat patrol then. So this is the combat patrol that they would want you to use in games. So 5 Infernus, 5 Terminators, a Captain and a Librarian. Black Templars. And this is their combat patrol that they'd want you to use. So the beauty about these combat patrols is you can just, you know, select them and then you can play against somebody else's combat patrol. And they've balanced them. Blood Angels. Their combat patrol. Dark Angels, the Lion Returned. So that's interesting that they've added that into this now. And this is their combat patrol. I would have preferred to see more plasma. Death Watch and their combat patrol. Lots of aggressors, don't you feel, guys? Lots of aggressors in these sets. Space Wolves. And yeah, some more art there. Interesting. So Imperial Fists don't get their own combat patrol. Oh, what a shame. Adeptus Sororitas. So this is a battle. This is their combat patrol. Essentially models from I want to say, well, it is 2019 now. Yeah. So models from almost 4 years ago. These easy to build Adeptus Sororitas. You can use the multi-part kits though to form this combat patrol. The only issue is you're going to have to find kind of 3 of these Arco-Flagellants. Adeptus Custodes, I bet it's just like 2 models. Are you ready? Oh no, it's 3 jet bikes, a unit of 5, and then 10 Sisters of Silence. This is essentially a Sisters of Silence combat patrol, right? Adeptus Mechanicus. Got the Maniple Verask Alpha. This is going to absolutely destroy, especially if you arm these Cataphon destroyers appropriately, and if you arm the Onega Dreamcrawler with the beam laser, then you've got a very spicy combat patrol there. Astra Militarum, or Imperial Guard if you prefer. Yeah, it's a decent number of shock troops. You know, you've got 20 there. Well, 5 if you include the command, you know, 25 if you include the command squad. Grey Knights. I do feel like there should have been 10 for the strike squad, really, but you do get this massive Nemesis Dread Knight, which, although looks very odd, it is pretty good in game. Some more pictures. So the massive focus on combat patrols. You know, yes, they've done the faction focus, which seems to me, you know, less about the artwork and more about the models. More about, oh, that's your combat patrol. So I guess these combat patrols are here to stay, if they're going to be carried all the way through this 10th edition. Hang on. Imperial Knight combat patrol? Forces of Chaos. Another great bit of artwork there. So, Chaos Space Marines. How do their combat patrols fare? Well, that's not too bad, that one. You get some Havocs, are they? They're quite good. You've got a Death Guard, which is just... Let's move on. Let's move on quite quick. Thousand Suns. There's Magnus the Red. Is it a Zangor combat patrol, really? World Eaters, the best combat patrol out of all of them. Mechanicus is close. Custodians is quite good too, but yes. Karagar's Rampagers, especially if you build the Invocatus as well. The Khorne Berserkers, I've, you know, covered World Eaters recently, the full army, and both, I say both of them, they're the same set. Very good set, and it's a very good combat patrol too. Saves you a ton, because like a unit of 10 Khorne Berserkers is £40 now. So that's 40, 80, 120, 157 pounds or so. You're saving yourself almost 60 quid. Plus if you get a discount. Chaos Demons. I think unfortunately you've only got one box set for Chaos Demons now, and that is for, it's just called Chaos Demons, and it's just for Khorne, which is very lackluster, and I would have preferred, you know, I would have liked to have seen, and I would have liked to have seen combat patrols for all of the different demons, not just Khorne. I think I've got a Bloodmaster. I might do a unboxing review of him. And then you've, yeah, got this. It's odd. It is an odd sort of scene. Adeptus Mechanicus fighting Chaos Space Marines, but they just look like they've been positioned in play. Not that, like, they don't look like they're actually having a battle. Whereas these do. Maybe not this one. Yeah, even more photos. So lots of photos of their minis here. Lots. You know, we're talking all the way back from. Well, we can count it from the Strike Force, from Space Marine Strike Force. So from page 78 all the way through to... They just give up giving us page numbers at one point. 150, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there is about 71... So there's about 81 pages there of combat patrols and pictures of minis. 81, that's a big chunk out of the book there. Anyway, the Xenos Threat. So we haven't finished with the combat patrol. We thought we'd be finished with 80 pages, but we've still got Xenos, haven't we? You've got Eldari. It's a great combat patrol if you're into Same Han. It does break it up a little bit having that Wraith Lord there though, but the jet bites are good, and the new Guardians are very good, but the other two models have been around for quite some time now. You've got Drakari or Dark Eldar. Yeah, that's an alright box set too. two Ravagers, or Ravager and a Raider, should I say. Tyranids. What they've done here is they've kind of, just showed you what they've done here is they've just watered down the Tyranid force in this Leviathan set and put it here. Whether they're going to release that separately in its own combat patrol, I think they will. I can see that happening. I don't know whether they can get away with charging £95 for it though, considering this set is 150 for both of the combat trolls and more. You've got a Page Keeper, which is great, always like one of those. Gene Stealer Cults, not too bad. Combat Patrol, that one. Leagues of Votan, don't really, haven't really got much to say about those. Necrons though, yeah, it's just some of the minis for Indomitus, isn't it? And only 10 Necron Warriors. Don't know how strong that combat patrol is. The Orc one is nice. You've got a mixture of brand new models. So like all the Orc boys and the Copters and this boss and the war boss in Mega Armor are all brand new, but the Dreadnought's pretty old now in plastic. And also customization options. You haven't really got hardly any customization with all of those minis, whereas you have for the Death Dread. Tau Empire, yeah, the Ghost Neil is a good mini. So you've got that one, and then I look at more of the minis as well. It's really odd the way they've put the art here, because they've got like this size photo, but then they've kind of, they've ignored the fact that there are 2 pages and they've kind of split. I'm not sure if it works, just spreading the full picture over the 2 pages. Like especially here, look. Just looks like they've dragged and dropped and gone, well, it's going to be in these size pages. Whereas this isn't too bad because it covers both pages and you know what you're kind of getting yourself in for, if you know, with that. But I just think that just looks a bit messy. Core rules. So we did have from page 78 to page, again, they don't like giving you the page numbers, do they? 193, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's about 122 pages of combat patrols and their minis that we've seen before. 122 pages. It's over a third of the book. It's over a third of the book. Over 33% of the book is just combat patrols. That's what we're saying. So should this book be called the Combat Patrol Rulebook? Combat Patrol book? I think so. Anyway, you've got the core rules. Introduction. You've got all the cool concepts, the battle rounds, the data sheets, the strategic reserves and stratagems, terrain features, muster your army and missions, the core concepts, determine invisibility. I'm not sure about the font, guys. I don't think it's me getting old. I just do think that the font should be much larger. There's lots of spaces there. And I just think the text could be bigger. Like this is, I would love to read that, but they could have made it even 2 points larger and cover that whole side. I don't know what you've got 2 nice size pages. Use them, Games Workshop. Like, I'd rather be able to read my rules quickly and efficiently than the pages look, I say bare, the pages look sparse. Like, I don't look at it and go, especially for the core rules section as well, I don't look at the core rules section and go, oh, isn't that pretty? No, I look at it to go, all right, rerolls. I want to be able to read them a bit, as efficiently, as quickly as possible. Not, oh, well, I read the rules and it took me a bit of a longer time to read, but at least the pages look good. yeah, the font is all over the place, and these are even smaller than those points. What is the big push about them making their font really, really small? That's a lot of text. Wow. That's a lot of text. A lot of small text. I don't think they can get the text smaller than that either. Okay, making attacks, inflict damage. I might go through a game with you all if you want me to show you how to play. I'm happy to do that. Just put it in the comments, of course. Charge phase, and then you've got the fight phase. Fight, pile in, make melee attacks, consolidate. Data sheets, here we go. So it gives you an idea of data. They've changed from 9th. They didn't really change from 8th to 9th, but they have changed from 9th to 10th. So you need to read up on those. Deployment abilities, stratagems, strategic reserves, terrain features, craters and rubble. So you've got some terrain features there. Woods, example battlefields. Now there's a lot going on that battlefield. And also the Horus Heresy rulebook is great for this as well, giving you example battlefields. Aircraft. And then muster your army. So select a battle size. You've got, it tells you how long these battles will take. So if you've got 1,000 points, it can take 2 hours. 2,000 points, it's a 3-hour one. And onslaught is going to take you 4 hours. Now, when I used to play a lot, I always used to go for, I try and go for 2,000 point games. Yes, it would take 3 hours and it might not finish, but I just feel like they're a good force. Of course, now you can have a combat patrol. You can just roll up with a combat patrol and use that against somebody else's. Start your army roster. Select an army faction, select detachment rules, select unit, select warlord. And then you've got your missions, your objective markers, only war, and then combat patrol. Hang on. We just had 130 pages of combat patrols. Playing combat patrol, right, so here we go. Battle ready. So you've got the contrast method or the classic method. Contrast paints were created especially to give your armies battle ready in no time. Just one coat of contrast paint lays down both a base colour and a bit of shade. So you just put contrast on and you're ready to go. Combat patrol missions. Clash of patrols. Architect recovery. So these are all the combat patrol missions. So these will come into great use. There's not a huge amount though, is there? There's only 6 combat patrol missions. Nice bit of artwork there. And then the shadow descends. So now we've got some new lore. Nice little story there. More artwork. That looks amazing. A darkness in the west. So this is like the updated area of the lore. Look, you've got the Lords of Terror there. Yes. So we're yes, look at that new bit of artwork. It's fantastic. Lord Solar Leontus, the Soul Blade Strike. So this is all new now, this area, so it might be worth you reading this. Look at this. It's all happening. Got some really big chunky Terminators. More story luck. The Anvil of Sanctum. Warzone Bastior. Sanctum Defiant. Trajan Valoris. So a lot of backstory here for what's happening right now. The Xeno War, more of the story luck. Lovely bit of artwork there. And then a showcase. So this is a showcase of Leviathan, of the models in the set. Well, you've got some extra models there now, but... And you've got some Custodes. And Screamer Killer. I think it's the teeth I'm not a massive fan of. That's what it is. I think it's the teeth. I think if it was done in resin, the teeth would be more detailed, thinner, pointier. But because it's in plastic, they're just limited, aren't they? With that. The Leapers look all right though. Wow. There is a lot going on there. Crusade rules. So you've got Crusade forces, you have supply limits and unit names, order of battle, Crusade cards. There they are. So you can photocopy those. Requisitions, ranks and battle honours, weapon modifications, Crusade relics, out of action, mustering a Crusade army. This is another section of, so this is separate to, you know, having a normal battle. Tyrannic War. So you'll find a number of new battle honours you can give to your warriors as they fight through their way through the Tyrannic War. This is all part of the Crusade, so you can add these battle honours, Crusade relics, monsters and those who hunt them, monster hunters, striding behemoths, playing a Crusade mission, and Crusade blessings, agendas, Tyrannic War campaign, rotting biomass. So look at all these missions. More than the combat patrol ones. Yeah, way more. And that is about it. So no kind of like exit tro or whatever you want to call it. It just ends with one of the missions for the Crusade. That was a lot of Crusade missions. Sorry, but that was a lot. How many? $14, $15 in total, wow. And then a nice little bit of artwork there. For some reason, there's been damaged. I don't know how that's happened. Somewhere in the print, but... And you've got the rules index, and then the Game of Thrones artwork as well. So that's it. It does say 300, and I thought it's 392 for some reason, because actually on the back of the box it says 392. For some reason it's not 392, it's actually 332. So that is the first mistake, guys. You may think that this is 392 pages, but it is not. There we go. That is the rulebook for Warhammer 40,000 Leviathan for 10th edition. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed that first look. What do you guys think? Do you prefer this to Indomitus? Do you prefer it to Age of Darkness? You know, the Horus Heresy box set from last year. I tell you what, I was really pumped for the Horus Heresy box set last year. I was super looking forward to it, really excited, and I was ever so happy when I got it and was able to start building it. This set, I mean, I'm looking forward to building a couple of the miniatures, but I feel no rush to do so. I feel I don't feel like there's a lot of motivation. It might be because there's a lot of games to play at the moment and there's lots of other things going on. But still, what's your take on this edition and the rulebook? Which I can now officially say it is the Combat Patrol book, because if you've got 130 pages, then that equals to way more than 30% of the full book. The majority of this book is Combat Patrols. Please do put your thoughts and opinions down below. Be good to hear from you. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.